afternoon, folks. Big Bo with RVs with Big Bo at Parkway RV Center. Guys, have I got a nice one for you today. I'm talking about, wow, you're not gonna find one like this anywhere else, especially for this price. Just got this one in. This is a 2006 Monaco Night 40 PLQ. And I know that sounds like, okay, this is a regular RV, but it's not, guys. This is a one owner RV I got out of the Gainesville, Florida area. So it hasn't been close to the coast. I think it's what, 2 hours from the beach. So you don't have to worry about rust or saltwater spray damage. Again, it really shows one owner, guys. That's very unusual for an RV. You know, most people keep these things 3, 4, 5 years at the most. Then they trade them, get something different, or sell them or whatever. But to actually find a coach this age that's had one owner its entire life is very, very unusual. And it's only got 18, well, might as well say 19,000 miles by the time it goes on a test drive or two. So 19,000 miles. And this is the old school Monaco, built when they were built like tanks. It's got the 9-layer fiberglass top, fiberglass roof, 5-layer sidewall, 5-layer floor system. It's got the aluminum frame with the steel firewall and the steel cage frame in the front cab. I mean, this was back, they don't build them like this anymore, guys. You've got the multi-stage full body paint. I mean, back in 2006 prices, this thing was well over $200,000. It is built on the RR8R Roadmaster chassis, which is not the one with the trailing arm recall. That's RR4R. This is the RR8R, and it's got a clean Carfax on it. Shows no accident damage, no recalls, no current unfulfilled recalls, I should say. And it confirms that this is a one owner out of the Gainesville, Florida area. And man, look how clean this thing is. I mean, this thing's a beauty, guys. I mean, especially considering that it's 16, 17 years old. You do have the polyethylene coated huge storage bay. I mean, wow, you can put the kids in there if you want to. No, not really, don't do that. But got a little outside television, 10-gallon DSI gas electric water heater. It's got a beautiful power awning, guys, and this is a cloth, like what they call acrylic material. It's color matching to the RV, and it looks like a brand new one. And I'm sure that's probably the original fabric. I mean, just look at the exterior, look at the shine on it. I mean, this thing's been kept under cover when it hasn't been used. It's got an 8 kW Onan quiet diesel generator, which is a Cummins motor, and this has got a 330 horsepower ISC 8.3 liter commercial grade Cummins diesel engine. Again, guys, 19,000 miles, got 960 pound-feet of torque with a 10,000 pound towing capacity. You've got the Alcoa wheels. We just drove this thing up from Gainesville. Tires look great. I mean, we had to put 2 new batteries for the engine on it, so you got 2 brand new engine batteries. All that looks good. The house batteries look pretty recent. Look over here, guys, you got your 2,000 watt Magnum inverter. It works. Man, what a machine. I mean, these newer ones may have more technology, but they cannot hold a candle to the build quality of these actual Monaco from this era. From an actually Monaco built Monaco RV, not a Rev Group or whoever owns them now. 4 slides, 2 sets of opposing slide outs, tons of room, 100-gallon fuel tank, dual furnaces, dual airs, of course. Got the motorhome running. I've got the generator running, powering everything inside. It's got the window awnings, got the slide toppers and all 4 awnings. Look at the paint finish on this thing. It is an 06 model, guys. In fact, if you look at this thing in person, you need to write 2006 on the palm of your hand, so you keep looking at it, remind yourself that this is actually an 06, because you feel like you're in one that's 10 or 12 years newer by the overall condition of it. Got the chrome velvet heated mirrors, power, of course. 1-piece windshield, looks great, no cracks. No stars, anything like that. Just wait till you see the interior. It's pretty much all original. Only thing they've changed out is they've upgraded the TVs. And 19,000 miles. We're going to drive it later in the video. Of course, I'll show you everything with the slide outs in. I'm going to pause the video for a minute. Let's pop a drone up, get a roof shot. Look how good that fiberglass roof is, and I'll be right back. Man, it's been a long time since I've seen an 06 that looked that good on the roof. Now, it does have a satellite, guys, but that satellite, just figure on it being obsolete. Most of those satellite systems are. That's probably original. Let's look inside. As we step inside, guys, there's no smoke or pet odors in this motorhome. Steps work great, by the way. I don't think I showed that on camera. As we step inside, thanks to those two sets of opposing slide outs, wide open spaces is what you think of when you see this thing slid out. And it's got the floor plan that a lot of people are looking for, especially full-timers who are still working, that are going to be working from the road. And that is the bedroom with the office behind the bedroom. This is what this floor plan has. Reminds me a lot of my old Winnebago Adventurer that I owned for several years. It had the office area behind the bedroom, and I'll show you that when we go back there. But I mean, this is definitely a Monaco, which is the sister brand of Holiday Rambler back then. I mean, they were expensive, guys. You bought a new Monaco or a new Holiday Rambler, you paid for the best, and that's what you got. And that's why they look so good now, 17 years later. Plus, it was very well taken care of too, and that has a lot to do with it as well. Dash air works great. You've got the leather seats or power. The passenger seat is a recliner. 18,975.6 miles. So like I said, by the time you drive it a couple times, we'll say 19,000 miles. Does have an older Pioneer touchscreen Bluetooth radio, probably first generation. Definitely newer than the RV, but not the latest and greatest. But hey, as long as it plays music, right? They have put a bigger TV up here. I'm not a big fan of that, but guys, because it's really easy to bump your head if you're wearing a ball cap or something like that when you walk in. But I mean, nothing you can really do about it. I mean, unless you want to put a smaller TV in there. It is almost completely full of diesel fuel, so there's pretty good investment alone. Air brakes, it's got the RR8R chassis, which that means it's got 10 outward mounted air shocks or airbags and air shocks. So very soft ride going down the road that we're going to see here in a minute. Plus, when you go back here, you can see that from the countertops. There's no cracks, anything like that. So very soft riding motorhome, and plus a good turning radius and all that stuff too. I said generator fires right up, runs great. Batteries brand new on the motor. Very late model on the house battery. Shouldn't have to worry about either of those for a while. Tires look great. No weather cracking, anything like that. No check engine lights, no ABS lights. It does have the automatic traction control. So, which I know that was back in 06. That was a big thing. But I don't see you lay and drag in a 41-foot motorhome. And it is 40 foot 10 inches long, by the way, and a little over 8 foot wide with the slide outs in. 6-speed Allison 3000 world transmission. That's the adaptable transmission that adapts itself to your driving style. Takes it a couple hundred miles to do so, but it will adjust itself so you get the maximum performance and fuel mileage for your particular style of driving, because everybody drives differently. You do have the power shades for the driver and the passenger, and they work. Well taken care of motorhome, guys. You've got the power pedals, so you can adjust the pedals up or down to make it comfortable for you. Cruise control, everything right here. Power heated mirrors. Does have the pack brake, exhaust brake, which we'll try when we drive. Flashers. It's got the air dump for putting it underneath the shed, or if you've got a creep your way under a very, very low overpass or a railroad bridge or something like that. You can definitely help with that. That definitely helps with that. Does have the hydraulic leveling jacks, the power gear, and it does, and they're automatic too. You can do them manually, you can do them automatic. So, and it is hydraulic slide outs too, unlike the newer ones that are not. So, and you know, and I've said this before, guys, a lot of truth to this. I mean, this thing's what, like I said, 17 years old, and I would love to see, and I seriously doubt that's ever going to happen, but I would love to see 17 years from now a 2022 Monaco or Holiday Rambler or 2023 Holiday Rambler look as good as this 2006 does today when it's 17 years old. I mean, yeah, they may have all this technology and navigation and Apple Play and all this other stuff and built-in Wi-Fi hotspots and Starlink internet, all that good stuff, and yeah, and that's all fine and dandy if that's what you need, and you can always add that to this if you want to, but you know, you can add all that technology you want to this and still be in it for a fraction of the cost of a brand new one and have a lot better built one than a brand new one. And this is a not to mention, this is a pre-def motor, guys, pre-emissions, pre-def motor, no DEF fluid. That's going to double your engine life. And not to mention lower your maintenance costs and your service costs, having a pre-def engine. But what I was getting at is, you know, you can add the stuff as you need it. Me, I personally can go without it. I'm camping to get away from it all, but I know a lot of you, especially if you're full-time and you got to work, you got to have that stuff. And so you can add that stuff as you need and have a better built motorhome and save a ton of money. So it's a win-win for everybody. $59,900 for this motorhome, guys. For a 4-slide diesel pusher, unreal quality. It's a one owner. And just look at this bad boy. Carpets look awesome. Table and chairs, I found the 2 extra chairs to it, so I just set it up in here. I mean, you can put them in a closet or whatever you need to do. Doesn't have the tile floor, it's a vinyl floor, but it does have the Corian countertops. They look good. Looks like they did drop the stove cover and put a crack in it and they glued it. But guys, again, it's 17 years old. That's a good idea. Put the metal plate on it to hold it together. But as far as like the overall countertops, there's no other stress cracks in it, which means you've got a soft riding chassis. And plus all your beveled glass is not broken or cracked. And for a 17-year-old motor, of course, I know it's only got 19,000 miles, so this thing obviously has not been run down the road to death either. Look at the sofas. Leather sofa looks great. No cracks, no dried out spots. This makes a bed. It's still got the original cloth sofa across from it. Makes a bed. So with the that and the queen bed in the back, it sleeps 5. I mean, you got these beautiful cabinets. Got your windshield cover. Day-night shades all work. I mean, these folks took excellent care of it. It does have the 84-inch interior ceiling height. Notice there's no sagging headliner, which is a sign that it's leaked because they kept this thing under cover. It doesn't, it hasn't been sitting exposed to the sun unless they were using it, which with 19,000 miles obviously wasn't much. But I guess considering living where they lived, I guess you don't have to go far to vacation. And look at the bathroom first before we go in there in the bedroom. You do have a sink, medicine cabinet. And by the way, if you've got this, if you always want to know where the model number's at on these older Monaco Holiday Ramblers, look behind the medicine cabinet. Right there, 40 BLQ right there. That sticker's always in behind the medicine cabinet. Sharing you a little bit of knowledge in case you're looking at one or you got one and you don't really know what the model number is, and that's where you always want to look. You got to have that number if you're going to buy and sell one, so everybody knows what it is. Oh, by the way, it does have a 4-door 14 cubic foot RV refrigerator freezer. Now, it does not currently come on. We are going to fix that. We guarantee that to work. I think it's just got a bad eyebrow board or control board, because that's pretty much dead. Whatever the problem is, guys, even if we have to replace it, we're going to do it for that $59,900 price. That's part of our major systems inspection. That's included for that $59.9 price, and part of that inspection, we do guarantee the refrigerator to work and get to operating temperature. And obviously we'll have to fix that one, but that will be done after it's purchased. It'll be done before you pick it up. There's your control for your Magnum inverter. We'll step toward the back. This is what's awesome. Of course, I've got that motor running, so keep in mind we got that great big commercial series Cummins motor running underneath us. Queen Island bed, and this is actually a 60 by 80 inch bed. So this is a residential queen, not a camper queen. So it's longer, and you'll use queen size sheets in it just like you do in your own home. Got a headboard, reading lamps, overhead storage. I got that one drawer right there that won't stay shut because they're sitting in a little bit of an angle. Like I said, they've upgraded the televisions. They took the old CRT TVs out and put flat screens in, and got all this extra storage. All that looks good. You do have solid, of course you saw your door going in from the bathroom. Left you some artwork on the walls. But this is what's cool for those of you that are going to be doing work from your RV, is that you have your own dedicated office space, which is a cool feature for those that are looking for this. And you've got your own dedicated office. You got plenty of plug-ins under here for computers or whatever. And even if you don't need an office, it's still nice to have a little desk right here to keep all your important papers in order, to pay your bills, you know, that you don't have to use the table up front. And normally, of course, you wouldn't be sitting here with the motor running, so it's kind of like a vibrating chair. But or use this for a little workstation, a hobby table, craft table. I mean, you got drawers here to keep your stuff in. That's probably the catch for that one drawer over there. But so, you know, for those of you that need this, it's a pretty cool thing. Like I said, I had something real similar to this in my Winnebago, and my wife being a real estate agent, that really came in handy when we were on a trip and she needed a place to sit to take care of her clients remotely. So, you know, I know a lot of people are like doing insurance adjustments and claims and all that stuff from the road, and you got to have a dedicated office area. Well, here you go. You can always put you up a little privacy curtain right here if you need to suit your new your work's privacy requirements if they have them. It does have washer and dryer hookups, but it does not have one. So that's something you can add later on if you need to for a combo unit, which is actually, that means they haven't lived in it, which I know they didn't, because obviously the people haven't from the wear and tear. Pray about everything, worry about nothing. That's a phrase I think all of us can stand to go by from time to time in our lives. I know I certainly can. Some breakers and stuff, your fuses, good location. I do like the floor plan, especially for those of you who are going to be working from your RV. You know, for those of you who are retired or not going to be working from inside your RV, that probably isn't that big a deal. But for those of you looking for that feature, that's almost hard, it's almost impossible to find used. And, you know, not everybody wants to fill up the table with their work with the point you can't even use it to eat at, especially if you got a family. Well, this one right here, you still got a place for everybody to eat, and you can have yourself a separate office. So yeah, that can be a big plus. And guys, $59.9 NADA on this thing. I'm not going to bother flashing it up, but if you want to pull it up, just Google 2006 Monaco night 40 PLQ NADA. You don't have to put in any options. It's $66,000, and that's no options. You got 19,000 miles. That's worth extra. You got the full body paint. You've got a bunch of extras on here you could add to it if you wanted to, but no need to. I looked up an RV Trader just to see if there were any other 40 PLQs for sale right now. There's over 200,000 motorhomes and towable RVs, new and used, on RV Trader. It's pretty much the definitive marketplace for RVs if you want to see what one is actually bringing, because JD Powers or NADA is a good resource if you want to see what one will finance for, or just get an idea of what insurance will value it for. But to see what they're actually bringing, that's what you go to, is RV Trader to value. And they even have a price checker tool that I use multiple times a day just to make sure our prices are the lowest or one of the lowest on the internet for the particular year, make, and model, and condition and mileage. I mean, there's other factors you have to consider too, plus the fact that other dealers, when they advertise the price, a lot of times they can add fees and upsells that can add several $1,000s to the advertised price that they don't disclose, versus us, when we advertise the price, it's plus applicable sales tax and that's it. But when I looked this one up on RV Trader, as of right now at time of video production, there were 3 other 40 PLQs, a couple of 06s, a couple of 05s, and the lowest priced one was an 06 just like this. Had 85,000 miles, which to diesel, that's no big deal. 85, or which of course I know that's a couple more years of driving, but either way you go, you're not going to wear it out. But people had obviously been living in it because they had taken all the furniture out, because I guess it was worn out, and replaced the sofas with gaudy house furniture. Carpet looked like it should have been replaced 10 years ago. And they were asking $5,000 more for it. And it was at a dealership, so you know they're going to tack on fees, they're going to tack on upsells, and it was in Minnesota. So then you got the rust issue. So that right there tells me, and I've got this one for $59.9, because you know that one for $64, $65, you're not going to walk in with a cashier's check made out for that amount and be able to leave with it. They're going to start adding dock fees, prep fees, all this junk. You'd be lucky to get out of another dealership for, even if you take sales tax out of the equation, for less than $10,000 more than what they advertise it for. Time you pay all the fees and all the goofy upsells that they try to talk you into, like gap insurance, tire and wheel protections, vacation packages, and all that stuff that's not worth the paper it's written on and marked up 4 or 5 times dealer costs. I always say no to those, by the way. Extended warranties and all that junk, because all you're doing is just giving money away, and when you need those services, they're not going to pay. They're not dealership exclusive items. If you just absolutely have to have, buy them away from the dealership. At least that way you can save quite a bit of money, but they're still not going to pay when you need them. But anyway, I got this one for $59.9 plus applicable sales tax. That's it. Includes our major systems inspection. So please listen carefully to what I'm about to say, and don't be afraid to ask questions, because I know this confuses some people. Maybe I don't explain it right. My salespeople can try to explain it to you a little better, answer individual questions about it. But to keep our prices low, this is what we guarantee to work on all of our used RVs, unless they're a back row bargain, which I've got a couple of those hopefully coming up soon. But this is what we inspect and guarantee on our used RVs, and only inspect and guarantee to work at time of sale on our used RVs for the price that we sell them for. Guys, we're all RVers ourselves. We know that no matter what you're told, that no matter what kind of RV you buy, you're going to work on it. Whether it's used, whether it's new, whether it's a $60,000 one or a $6 million one, or anything in between, you're going to work on it. Doesn't matter the brand, the type, the condition, you're going to work on it. It can be brand spanking new, Bluebird bus with all the amenities and cost you several $1 million. You're going to work on it. As soon as you take home with it, you're going to find stuff wrong with it. You're either going to have to turn it under warranty, or pay somebody to work on it, or fix it yourself. That's just part of owning an RV, guys. you've got these many systems trying to communicate and talk to each other and work together to make your RV work. Things are going to break down, things are going to break, or may have not been put together right from the factory. I mean, that's the nature of it's like owning a houseboat. I mean, it's just part of it. So if anybody tells you different, they're lying to you. I've been an RV owner for 25 years. I've never bought an RV I didn't have to work on. And I buy them under the exception I'm going to have to work on them. But what we make sure is the major stuff works, the stuff that can ruin your camping trip. You know, and what we do is we check the following systems and only the following systems for the $59.9 price. We inspect the slide outs. We make sure all of them work. All 4 of them. We make sure they go in and out just like they're supposed to. They seal up good. And so you got no worries there. We make sure that the refrigerator and freezer get to operating temperature. Like I said, it's currently not working. We're going to fix that. No matter what it takes. If we have to replace a board, a cooling unit, or replace the whole darn fridge, we will. $59.9, no extra cost for that. So you got no worries there. We make sure the generator runs and puts out like it's supposed to, which it obviously is. But we're going to, I guess, officially check it. I guess me cranking it up and running everything is different than one of my techs doing it, or you doing it. So, hey, at least it's officially checked. But we make sure that works. Of course, they check the voltage and all that, and you know, check the fluids and generator and the filters and stuff like that. So it's a little more involved than just cranking it up and saying, hey, it runs and it's powering up everything. I mean, so they do a little bit more than just that. But and also, guys, we check and make sure the steps work. We check the drivability of it, make sure it drives, which we're going to do that too here in a minute when we test drive it. We're going to make sure that the plumbing systems work. We're going to check your faucets, spigots. We're going to check your toilet, make sure it flushes, make sure your water heater gets hot, make sure hot water goes everywhere it's supposed to, make sure there's no plumbing leaks. If we find anything wrong with any of that, we're going to fix it. Check your water pump, make sure it's pumping out to the right pressure to everywhere it's supposed to go. We're going to check excuse me, that's what we check, guys. I mean, that's the stuff that can ruin your trip. And your roof airs too, guys. I forgot. Roof airs. Yeah. We'll make sure they get to operating temp so you can stay cool in the summertime or when it's hot outside. Everything else, guys, sold as is. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Judging by the condition of everything and the way that the former owners kept this thing, I would say it's a safe bet to assume that besides the fridge, I don't really think you have much of a worry. And I'm not saying that may not be an occasional light or something like that might not work. I mean, so far everything I've touched works, but y'all are probably going to look at it a lot closer in a lot more detail than I have because you're going to be buying it, not me. So, but I have turned on all the lights. I've checked the awning. You know, even though that's not stuff we guarantee to work, so far they work great. I can't figure out how to turn that light on, but there's probably just a switch somewhere I'm missing. Monaco's Holiday Ramblers are notorious for having hidden switches everywhere. Y'all probably find that. At the very worst case, you might put you know, those little fluorescent bulbs are $7 or $8 a piece. There's 2 of them in there. Very worst case, you might have to replace a couple of bulbs. I mean, big deal, right? You know, we don't mess with that Mickey Mouse stuff. We just make sure the stuff that can ruin your trip works. So like I said, that light not working is not going to ruin your trip. Or if you've got a scratch on a cabinet or that crack on that stovetop cover is not going to ruin your trip. A refrigerator not working can ruin your trip. Generator not working can ruin your trip. Air conditioner not working can ruin your trip. Slide out not working can ruin your trip. That's what we concentrate on. So everybody, again, listen closer to this. You need to do one of 2 things. This should be common sense when buying any used or brand new RV. You need to come, first of all, you need to come look at the RV in person. Make sure that you like it. Make sure it's in nice enough condition. It meets your standards for a used RV for the year, model, and the price to be nice enough for you and your family, because everybody's got different standards about what kind of condition a 2006 model motorhome with 19,000 miles is supposed to be in to be nice enough for $59.9 to be nice enough for themselves and or their family to use and enjoy. If I was to rate this thing 1 to 10, I give it a 9.5. That's how I feel about it, guys. That's the highest score I give it a used RV. I give it a 9.5. Now, I don't give that score often. That's how I feel about this coach. Now, you may come look at it, you may give it an 8. Next person that looks at it may give it a 10 or a 12. Person after that may give it a 5. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. That's why they call it opinions. Everybody's got one. That's why you need to look at it for yourself and see where it falls into on your 1 to 10 scale. Because yes, pictures help, videos help, but nothing beats looking at it through your own eyes and touching it with your own hands. So, come look at it. And I highly recommend this. I cannot recommend this enough. I'll recommend this till I'm blue in the face to my dying breath. Anytime you buy any RV, new or used, I don't care if it's a brand new, top of the line diesel pusher or a used pop-up, get it inspected by a third-party RV inspector. Get a good one. Don't be afraid to spend a couple $100 extra to get a good one versus a no-name one. Check the reviews. You know, if you get one that's a well-known nationwide company, they're actually really good. They have an industry standard that they follow. Versus, and I usually don't say that about nationwide versus independent, but in this case I do. But don't take my word for it, guys. I'm not going to recommend any particular one. I'm not going to talk you out of any particular one. I'd rather you make that determination yourself. That way you can't blame me if you pick the wrong one, or or anything like that. That could be seen as a big conflict of interest in my part. So, and we welcome RV inspectors, guys. And if you go to a place, a dealership that tells you no, they don't welcome RV inspectors, you need to find a different dealership. If you're dealing with a for sale by owner and they tell you no, they don't want an RV inspector to look at their RV, they're hiding something. You don't need to walk away. You need to run away. I hate to say that, but it's true. And the same way with the other dealer. So, they're welcome here, guys. But remember, we only check and repair the major systems that I mentioned earlier. So no matter what you find or what the RV inspector finds, that's for your peace of mind, knowing what needs to be fixed after you buy it, if you choose to fix those things or if you choose to buy it. Like I said, for the $59.9 price, we only repair those major systems. This allows us to keep our prices low. It allows us to function with less employees, which again allows us to keep our overhead down, which keeps the prices lower than everybody else. And not to mention, it keeps our RV techs sane, because they're not, having to wait 6 weeks for a part, for an $8 part that's minuscule, a Mickey Mouse part that's keeping an RV from going out, with a customer screaming at them, "Where's my RV? Where's my RV?" for an $8 part that's not even going to affect them using the RV at all. So that's one reason why we got away from that whole long 4-page checklist and just trimmed it down to the major systems and dropped our prices accordingly. I mean, heck, guys, a year ago this thing would have been $10,000 more. So prices are coming down, hallelujah. But this is an awesome rig, guys. If you're interested, give us a call. We have financing available with approved credit and down payment, and we can help arrange delivery. So, if it's within 500-600 miles, we can do it ourselves. Further than that, we'll have to try to arrange it through a variety of companies or U-Ship, or just get with the salesperson, and he'll explain how that works, and we'll try to get you a quote. It may not be instant quote, but we'll try to get you a quote as quickly as possible. 706-965-7929. Or you can fly in to Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's only airport, which is only about 10 minutes from us. We'll pick you up for free during business hours. You can come look at this RV, inspect it, test drive it if you come Monday through Friday. Again, guys, not trying to be difficult, not trying to be hard to get along with, but there's a very logical reason why we do this. But we do not do Saturday test drives. Saturday's our busiest day of the week. Everybody's off work. They're looking at campers. I have a limited number of salespeople again to keep costs down. So they're juggling 4 or 5 customers each, and if one of them goes on a test drive on a Saturday, that's 4 or 5 customers that's not being waited on, that's getting mad because they're not getting waited on, and because their salesperson's gone for 30-40 minutes on a test drive. And try to sell one, we can often lose 1 or 2 sales just trying to sell one, and it's just not worth it. So anyway, hang tight, guys. Again, this unit's $59.9, haggle-free, firm, plus applicable sales tax. Now, just real quick, if you are a Georgia resident, because I'm real big about full disclosure, we do have to charge you a highway impact fee of $50 to $100 and a tag and title fee of $40 to $50. I have no choice on that, guys. That is everybody in Georgia pays that, whether you buy from individual or dealer. So I mean, y'all from Georgia like me, you know that. So, but out of state doesn't pay that, and it doesn't. We don't care how you pay for it. We're not like other dealers. We don't charge all these fees. We don't have these upsells. We don't charge you extra like other dealers do to bring your own money, which is ridiculous. If a dealer tries to tell me I got to pay more if I bring cash, or if I go to my bank and get a loan versus using one of their lenders, or if they offer me a discount to go through one of their lenders, which is the same thing as saying I'm going to charge you more to bring cash or to go to your bank and get a loan. And guess what, guys? I'm finding me another dealership. There's way too many dealers, way too many RVs out there for sale to fall victim for that scam. We don't play games here. We keep our prices where they are. We got the lowest prices in the country. I'll stand by that. We got one of the biggest selections used RVs in the South. You can compare that with anybody. And we don't have fees. We don't have upsells. When you see a price, that's it. Let me put it to you this way, guys. If you've got $59.9 in your checking account, or you know, and you're from out of state and you're not financing it, you bring me a cashier's check that I can verify for $59.9, and you'll pay your sales tax when you tag and title this in your home state. That's your out the door price. You bring me $59.9, you bought this motorhome. You just have to go through service, and you can come get it. Don't get no easier than that, does it? Call us with questions or details, 706-965-7929. Again, we take trade-ins, and we can help arrange local to nationwide delivery. Hang tight, guys. I will pause the video for a minute, bring the slide outs in, show you what it looks like, show you how the slide out procedure works, and we'll take a test drive. I will see you in just a few minutes. All right, everybody, I've got everything slid in, and like always, I've got my own little personal checklist I go through that I'll always share with you. I always make sure that the awnings are brought in, make sure they're nice and secure, make sure all my outdoor storage bays are closed, latched, and locked, which I have. And of course, I come inside and make sure everything's clear and all that good stuff. Of course, this unit's got slide toppers, so you don't have to worry about this next step. But if your unit does not have slide toppers, you want to make sure you don't have any like leaves or sticks or debris if you've been parked under some trees that might have got on top of your slide out that could damage your seal when you bring it in. So once I do all that, I bring them in, and you can see, guys, of course, you've got 2 sets of opposing slides. A little different when they're in, isn't it? I mean, you can still get around pretty good. Now, one thing I did have to do, because I did bring those 2 folding chairs out, is I folded them up, put them on the couch, keep them from sliding around. But other than that, guys, you still sit at the table. You still got access to your couches, your kitchen area, your fridge. No problem there. You can, sit at the couch, watch TV, all that good stuff. Still get to your bathroom. Still use the bathroom. You can still lay down on the bed, take a nap. Still use the toilet. So you just lose access to a little bit of storage. And if you want to get to your office area, you've got to climb over the bed, but you can still get to it and get your breakers and fuses back there. No big deal. Slide out controls are one convenient spot. Right here is all buttons for all 4 of your slide outs, and you want to make sure that the motor is off and parking brake set, which of course it's going to be, and bring them all the way in or all the way out. There is no in between, so make sure that you're all the way in or all the way out. So hang tight, guys. get one of my guys to act as a cameraman. We'll take it down the road for a test drive, and we'll see you in just a second from the driver's seat. All right, everybody, now we're going to test drive this 2006 Monaco night and see how it does. And got my good buddy Shane going to be the cameraman as usual, and make sure you show him some love and give him a call or a text if you've got questions, interest at all in this motorhome. Don't expect it to be on the market for long. I think this is incredible RV for the price. And get Shane, what's your number to call?
My number's 423-347-8478.
Good thing about that is you can call him after hours or text him.
I'll let my wife answer if it's too late.
I think this is one that the phone will be ringing off the hook off of in the morning when we open up.
Yeah.
Because I won't get this video online and listed online until after we close tonight. And, whoa, floodgates open. $19,000 miles. I don't think you have to worry about wearing this thing out by no means. Oh wow, somebody's gonna be nice and let us out. Alright. Oh, it's nice to be driving one of these again. Ain't nothing rides and drives like a diesel pusher. Yeah, I know they cost you more and they cost you a little more to operate, but you get, like anything else in life, you get what you paid for. Plenty of leg room, nice and comfortable. Man, it's something you can drive for several hours at a time and not be tired. And hard to believe we got an 06 the dash air still works on too. That's very rare. Somebody's obviously, like I said, it's a one owner coach. Somebody's took care of this thing, he or she or both. And that 330 should just be about right power for this. Smooth transmission. I love this big one-piece windshield. You don't miss anything. I mean, just to see everything, and you don't have that big pillar in the middle. And sitting up like this too, you see more than a Class C. I do like that about a Class A. Bad, hitting 50 miles an hour. It's so quiet up here with that motor in the back too. We'll take her down and exit, see what she does getting on the interstate. Probably 55, I would estimate. Well, depending on how traffic goes. I mean, you know, you really couldn't ask a 41-foot box on wheels to do me better than that. And don't get me wrong, this thing, you know, it'll get up there fast as you'd ever want to take a vehicle this size, but 50, 55, 60. I'll hit the cruise control here. Just 1 second. Cruise on. Sick. Cruise does work. There's 65. Oh yeah. Cruise control's good. 65 is about where I like to run one this size. It just makes it you're not fighting anything, you don't have a lot of wind noise, it just makes it nice and smooth. Easy one-handed driver here. We'll try the exhaust brake too when we get off the exit, see how it does. And it's quiet and smooth. Exhaust brake works very well actually. Brake for slowing you down on hills and stuff like that. Saves up your air brakes going down mountains. Brakes feel awesome. You know, that's one thing I do love about air brakes on a big vehicle, heavy vehicle like this. They just can't be beat. Guys, I'm happy with it. I'm impressed. Don't take my word for it. Come check it out for yourself. Make sure somebody else hadn't beaten you to it though, so give Shane a call or a text before coming down to make sure it is available. Shane, what's your number?
That number again is 423-347-8478.
And smash us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching, riding along with us, and look forward to seeing you here. Beautiful Ringgold, Georgia.